How's it going, folks? Jack here with another reaction, and 7 out of 10 games are the best thing ever, and I'm no longer afraid to say so, not because this video was uploaded, I just needed a way to start the video. No, but we have a video here by Jnakeyjakey that is titled In Defense of 7 out of 10 Games. And you know what? Yes, hell yes. It is about damn time that 7 out of 10 games get the acknowledgement that they deserve. They are no shovelware. They do present something. They are not perfect. They might not get the perfect balance of all the elements that should make a game all around enjoyable for all the masses to be able to consume them. But very often they do something that is so unique and so captivating that they can be damn near considered to be masterpieces. And as a fervent defender of trash taste, I'm all here for it. So without further ado, let's just jump into the video.
I just spent 60 hours playing a game that I don't think is actually very good. Ghost Recon Wildlands was pretty universally seen as a 7 out of 10 back when it came out in 2017 out of 10. The writing is among the worst of any game I have ever played. The voice acting comes across as like a middle schooler's idea of what they think sounds cool and awesome. The American interventionism power fantasy of hunting down a Bolivian drug cartel by blowing up tangos everywhere you go is problematic, to say the least. So why did I play this game so much? Because kids, sometimes, at the end of the day, Daddy doesn't always want the cautiously prepared 5-star Gordon Ramsay dinner, all right? Sometimes he wants Pizza Hut. It's critically mid comfort trash. It might not be good for your brain, but spin me right round and call me dead or alive. Extreme beach ball, holy shit. Maybe I do like sports, Dad. Chumba, wumba, hubba, hubba. But many of these critically deemed 7 out of 10s are often capable of scratching a specific itch. An itch that those esteemed 10 out of 10 hold forward while your character shimmies through a tight crack games just can't quite scratch. The only thing they scratching is that tight crack on their ass. The best 7 out of 10s might not.
You know what? I'm gonna say something here. There's been a whole discussion of like, oh no, the latest God of War games are not even game anymore, they're playable movies. In the same way that people are complaining about, oh, Hellblade is only just a playable movie. No, look, there's clearly a change in direction here. Most people can appreciate what God of War, not remade, but 2018 and Ragnarok did, okay? They are amazing games. And even if you still like the good old ones that are just about beating the shit out of people and creatures just being as angry as possible, you can enjoy that. You can, in fact, enjoy both of them. However, it is a little bit difficult to argue that a lot of these 10 out of 10 games aren't one that can basically play themselves, as they so often completely disregard the rule that they themselves establish in their games for something that looks a bit more cinematic. And there's no faulting that, okay? There's an appeal to that and I get that, but yeah, as a point of judgment, it's pretty clear sometimes.
Always fully stick the landing, but hey, at least it's trying out some cool new trick. Don't worry about the haters, brother, I gotcha. 7s walk so that 10s can steal their mechanics later and win a bunch of awards. That's why 6 scared of 7, not cause they not.
You are not gonna present I'm Alive and not expect me to comment on that. My brother in Christ, it is Ubisoft, at least one of Ubisoft's biggest fumbles. I always call Ubisoft the company with the most wasted potential because they can always draw from all of their franchises to create something good. Like, for example, the upcoming Star Wars Outlaw. It's basically borrowing a bunch of its elements from The Division and Watch Dogs. You can clearly see that, and if they play their cards well, it can be a good game. I Am Alive was basically Ubisoft of us. Post-apocalyptic survival game where you have to search for your wife and daughter. You have to carry like a camera with you as you are recording the story. It ends up in a fucking weird way, which is the part that is wasted potential on Ubisoft's part, as it could have turned out to be one of the greatest series that they could have made if only they wanted to engage in it. But the climbing mechanics there with a stamina bar, and of course the best feature ever, you could threaten people with a gun while it had no bullets. It was literally a morality thing that you could do. it was nice. It was a nice game, but not a masterpiece, but it was very cool.
Take the Just Cause series made by Avalanche Studios, you know, some real solid 7 out of 10 games. Do people like them because they're polished? Are you blind? Are you here right now? Is he stand up or is he in your
That's Just
chair
Cause
right
4.
now? People love the physics-based sandbox of chaos and explosions and creativity and gliders and, scratches chin, ponders. What's in like every game in the past 5 years? Perchance it's gliders, my lord. Wildlands is borderline race car most of the time, so that's pretty rough. But if you ignore all that stuff, it's also a gorgeous, massive sandbox of opportunity that grants you so much freedom in how you want to pursue your objectives, and you can play with your friends. And surprise, surprise, it's made by the undisputed king of the 7 out of 10 open world game, Ubisoft.
The king of mid, but sometime the mid turned into Midas as you get gold out of it.
Who the fuck you calling soft, brother? You're the soft one. Matter of fact, you be making me soft with that fugly ass ball of yours. Say you're sorry. Say you're sorry. We often give Ubisoftware a bunch of crap for what they do, and yeah, honestly, we should. They do a lot of dumb shit. Ubisoft Connect can connect its foot to my ass. Wait,
isn't that
reverse it. But the sheer amount of solid 7s and 8s that they consistently squat out that then go on to influence much better games is frankly astounding. Is the AI gonna be smart? Am I gonna be smart? I'll give you a hint. The answer is the same. Are the animations gonna be polished? Does a bear shit in a Ubisoft outpost? No. Well, sometimes they do. There are bears in Far Cry. Scratch that. Reverse it. Is your companion gonna ask you to take the vehicle off of sweet jumps even when it's a helicopter? I don't know. Let's ask one of our genius tango operators over here.
This ride ain't all bad.
Shit, give me a beer and I'll pretend we're back home off the coast of Myrtle Beach.
Still think you're 22 or something?
Nah, I'm just looking to hook up with 22-year-olds.
What are you No, say the line about the fucking jumps, you creep. But now let's compare a Ubisoft open world to a 10 out of 10 open world like GTA 5. Can you tackle objectives however you want? I'll give you a hint.
No.
The answer is no. But is it way more detailed and polished and generally functional? Yes. And it's also way more accessible to a mass audience because, like many other prestige 10 out of 10 games, it practically plays itself. And people go, whoa, this is just like a movie. I get to hold forward and lock on to dudes. This definitely isn't just ripping off Michael Mann's Heat 10 out of...
Yeah. That's the point. That's the freaking point. I'm not gonna say that there aren't some games that Ubisoft have put out that are inferior to Far Cry, GTA 5, but man, like you can fault Ubisoft for a bunch of things, such as, let's say, broken games on release. Definitely. Having characters from different entries of a specific franchise completely do a 180 in their personality and change their plot without even addressing anything, just because you wanted to have a redemption arc going on in a game that you're fumbling to attract an old audience? Yes, definitely. I'm hinting to Aiden Pierce in Watch Dogs to Watch Dogs Legion. What the fuck happened there? But making immersive world that feels interesting to explore, you can't fault them for. And also the fact that, as he mentioned there, the accessibility to how you want to handle the story as you see fit, all the way back to what? AC Unity? Did they have that? That you can tackle things exactly as you want to? Like, I used this example in a Actman video recently, but I'm just gonna reiterate it again. Like, if you're playing as Arno, you want to infiltrate Notre Dame to assassinate a guy, you can steal the keys from a guard, or one of the bandits, or whatever you want to call them, patriots. You can sneak in from another entry point in the cathedral. You can literally go underground to enter the bloody thing. Or you can even use the Animus thing there, where you could disguise yourself as a NPC, because yes, in your historical fiction, it doesn't matter how you handle the thing, it just needs to happen because the story dictates that it happened. Like, Ubisoft might often be out of line, but they are sometimes right.
Obviously, Ubisoft's quality standard is vastly inferior. That's not my point. Most people are going to enjoy GTA 5 as a product way more, and justifiably so. But I guess my dumbass point is that a critic score does not always tell the full story of exactly what an experience entails and what might appeal to you. And also in Heat, Al Pacino says, great ass! In summary, Jnakeyjakey's in defense of the 7 out of 10 games has a couple interesting points that are sadly buried underneath a wealth of poop and fart jokes. A 7 out of 10. Hi, I'm Jakey.
7 out of 10 video.
Thanks to Opera GX for sponsoring this video. My attention span is fucked. I need multiple screens in front of my eyes at all times so I can keep the darkness away. But anytime my current browser is open during my gaming time, my gaming performance is awful. But not with Opera GX. GX Control lets you limit the amount of CPU or RAM that your browser gets to use during your gamer time. Just look at how much nicer Opera GX is to your CPU and RAM versus the other guy. I hate when my browser is boring and looks like this. Opera GX has the GX Store, which has GX mods. There's so many wacky kooky mods, including the official Jnakeyjakey one, that has its own background music, keyboard sounds, opening and closing of tab sounds, theme and colors of the browser, dedicated wallpaper. You can also disable and enable individual mods on the mods menu located on the sidebar. Opera
Does it
GX
come
also
with
has
his
a quick
music?
import tool that lets you quickly import all of your stuff from your previous browser, like browsing history, bookmarks, and cookies on over to Opera GX. It's also compatible with every Google Chrome extension, much like my ex-wife is apparently compatible with everyone except me. Use my special link down below to download Opera GX today. In summary, this transition back to the main part of the video was pretty smooth, but ultimately plagued by my untimely divorce. A heartbreak out of 10. Take Middle-earth: Shadow of War. Most critics reviewed this game lower than the first one, with a lot of 7 out of 10s. But ask anyone who's played both games, and they'll likely tell you how much better of a game Shadow of War is. This Metacritic score may as well be ancient hieroglyphics to them, and they are not Tomb Raider, Crody.
In defense of the critics, yeah, I can't believe that I'm saying that. I want to say that a lot of the negative, well, some of it was negative, came from the whole microtransaction thing. Like, how much time have I spent playing the thing? Wallpaper engine, multiverses. Damn, I need to update that. Let's see, Middle-earth: Shadow of War. I've played 24 hours. I came to the end of the game and did not care more than that. And slugging through the end content takes a while, and I just didn't have the time. So like, I will understand if people just quit at a certain point and were like, okay, so I got this 7 out of 10 experience and I didn't want to slog through the rest of it. And that's fine. That's one of the issues that often occurs with certain games, where if you develop something extensively enough that has a lot of content, perhaps some people are never going to discover half of the stuff that you put in there. You need to have a certain balance to a way that attracts them. That's one of the faults that I always give to Ubisoft, right? They give games that are actually appealing, but how do you retain that audience?
They cannot read that. The Nemesis system is vastly superior in Shadow of War, which I think alone makes it a much more worthwhile experience to spend your limited precious gamer hours on before you inevitably die. But also, take this all with the fattest grain of salt, because this is all coming from a guy that typically does not give a shit about most video game stories. And the reason for that, I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. Haha, LOL, remember that one? In my personal experience, I think a lot of especially AAA video game stories are some pretty droll, uninspired garbage featuring like the most insipid millennial-ass writing ever. And I do not hesitate to skip a cutscene.
I mean, using Borderlands 3 as well as Forspoken is a big oof. Yeah, the writing there was bad.
And if I don't even have the option to skip a cutscene, that's an immediate C sanitary rating for come on. Which is an interesting thing when it comes to reviews, right? One critic is gonna place way more importance and weight on certain qualities versus another critic, story being a huge point of contention for many. So Shadow of War gets a lot of lower scores than Shadow of Mordor because of a shitty story and bloated size. Yeah, I don't give a shit about that stuff because it's not why I'm here. I'm here
just
to kill
orcs.
funny orcs. I'm not here to 100% every game I play. Get a job. Not to grind your gears. This actually sort of is my job. Obviously, in a perfect world, you should get great gameplay and story, but if you realistically don't expect a Tarantino-level screenplay every time you boot up your Xbox 5, suddenly, a lot of those 7s are actually starting to look like 8ers, or not.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, I want to say that if you look at it from an objective standpoint and leave like your subjective part of I want this specific niche thing to dive into, A game that just strikes the balance between gameplay, story, art style and all that are truly the ones that deserve to get those 10 out of 10s. That's why such things as Baldur's Gate 3 is hailed as being so awesome. It has literally immersive sim mechanics and the plot literally writes itself as you're playing along, and it keeps you getting invested in the gameplay and the story because you are shaping it all the time. But not every game is made to be able to strike that balance, and that is okay, because not everything is supposed to be like Baldur's Gate or whatever else.
Niners, hey yo, Niner, we got a 319! Dying Light is such a fun and unique blend of fluid movement and zombie combat, and it absolutely nails both of those core features. It just feels really good to play. But check the critical reviews and it's a lot of 7s, pointing out a shitty story, which it is, with shitty characters, which they are, and repetitive story objectives lacking real player motivation, which they do, if it's good. Your main reason for playing the game is the riveting story. If you're here to kill zombies and be terrified while running around nighttime with your friends, the only objective you need is an icon on the map saying, come get y'all juice. Okay, but now look at Dying Light 2, which also received a lot of 7s. I mean, honestly, it's a lot of the same reasons as the first game. But for me, 2 was a disappointment for different reasons. The satisfying ragdolls from the first game were just fully absent, and it just didn't feel as good to kill zombies in this game, which, along with doing cool jumps, and I do so very much love a cool jump, that's why I'm here. I'm not here to find out what happens to generic 20-something male game protagonist who mysteriously sounds like every other f***ing 20-something male game protagonist in every game ever. I love skateboarding, and I also love games that have a high skill ceiling and take some time to master, you know, like Super Smash Bros. Melee or Big Buck Hunter Arcade nude mod texture pack. So you take a skate simulator like Skater XL or Session, both games that reviewed very poorly. I mean, I'm talking more like 5 or 6 out of 10 because of the price, the bugs, the difficulty, the lack of a true single-player campaign, all totally valid reasons. But at the same time, I have played them this much, and I have deduced that Session is actually the much better game. One man's trash is another man's virtual tech deck that I can play for hours and hours on end, giving myself my own objectives and challenges, much like a baby that just took your phone and found the set things app. At the end of the day,
yeah, and that's the point that I sometimes find a little bit frustrating when it comes to such things as sequels. Obviously, the intent should be to improve on what has already been made at a given entry. Let's take the example of Watch Dogs, right? Underrated game. I'm saying it, right? Many people were disappointed by what Ubisoft did and said that they would do and never did. That is fine. That is justified. But criticizing Watch Dogs for its story, in contrast to the second one? No. Look, I fell in love with the gameplay of Watch Dogs 2. It was so much more improved. There were immersive sim mechanics where you could get gangs to fight against each other. NPCs felt literally alive. They acted as they should, reacted to your behavior and stuff. It was amazing. And even Marcus and the gang, despite them being somewhat cringe, I ended up falling in love with the cringe. But I will take Aiden Pierce's story of how he sounded worse than Batman with that throat cancer over the one that was delivered in Watch Dogs 2. And that is not even because that was the intent of the creators to make Watch Dogs a super riveting game story. I guess that the selling point for a lot of us was on the mechanics themselves. So you get the value from a game. That's the thing. It varies from people to people. So it's kind of difficult to...
At the end of the day, what even is a review score but an arbitrary number that some person online just chose and said, yeah, I know that's right. Why is it so deeply rooted in our caveman brains to assign rankings to everything and pit everything against each other with tier lists and top 10 lists? Restaurants, movies, video games, people. Are you a 7 out of 10? Am I a 7 out of 10? This video title isn't even an original thought. This person wrote about the exact same concept before I did, and this person wrote about it before they did. Are we all just doing and saying the same things? Does any of this even matter? Are we purely defined by the numbers that assess us? This video gets less views. This video gets more views. YouTube won't let me forget the numbers, Mason. Nothing is real, Mason. What's the point of anything if it's all actually mid? Maybe we should all just play Wildlands in this bar. Yeah, that sounds good. But maybe the magic was lurking in the mid all along.
Wow.
Is the beauty of our daily lives actually sourced in the mundane moments we deem to be seemingly unexceptional? Maybe the truly exceptional moments are the ones special and individually unique to us. The things that we like, even if this one chronically online yoga ball gamer said it made them want to Ubisoft connect their foot to ass. Maybe everything was a 7 all along. I'd be okay with that. A 7 feels most accurate when reviewing our collective experience on this blue orb. It's mostly good with a little bit of trash sprinkled on top for good measure. A 7 out of 10. And I'm okay with that. Thank you for watching my video, brought to you by Ball Creative. First merch drop pre-orders should be shipping out around now, at the time of this video going up, so expect that. Comment your favorite 7 out of 10s. Oh my God, he's gonna do it again. Is he here right now? Is he stand up or is he in your chair right now? Comment below, rate, subscribe, fuck that bell up. Just bless up till you dress up. Is he here right now? Is he stand up or is he in your chair right now?
Wow.
Truffle butter on your birthday. I'll eat it in the morning.
What an ending. Yeah, goddamn, I have a bunch like Sleeping Dogs that never got a sequel. At least they were working on one, then it scrapped it. Evil West, that was 2 years ago. Great Vampire Hunter game. Mad Max that he showed there was also amazing. Shadow Warrior 3 because Doom for weeps. And hells, I was uploading a game before. What do we have here? Just Cause 4. Yeah, this one's loading. Square Enix, you did this one dirty. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. Let this be like a good reminder that critic scores aren't always everything, even when they are made by your favorite content creator. If you get some enjoyment for a game, try to actually enjoy it and find the things that hook you into it and get the best out of it with the free time that you have. That being said, wish you all to have a wonderful day. Like and also subscribe to the channel if you want to see some more, and of course subscribe to Jnakeyjakey, and see you guys in the next one. Bye.